Alright YouTube, I just looked in my mailbox and I have a set of car keys and a letter saying I had a car delivery in my driveway this morning, so let's go out and see what they brought. Oh my, another Lexus, and in bright orange, my favorite color. Oh yeah, and an RC too. Now I have two RCs to drive. Lucky me. A nice bright orange car really lights up your driveway, doesn't it? By the way, I went camping this weekend and got a slight throat infection, so my voice sounds like total trash. It usually does anyway. But now I feel better. I feel totally redeemed. I feel healed. So, I'm going to go inside, get changed. We'll come out around lunchtime and get this video started. Pardon my voice for the remainder of this video, though. In this video, we're going to be looking at a pair of Lexus RC coupes. On our right, we have the RC-200t. Says so right on the rear. The other RC model we tested is on the left here. We also did a complete road test on the upgraded Lexus RCF. Connected to a V8 with a 0 to 60 time of 4.4 seconds and top speed of 168 miles per hour. Giant brakes the size of manhole covers. And the biggest difference of all, the $80,000 price tag. We'll have a link for this complete road test coming up at the end of this video. You don't want to miss it. The RC-200t differs over the V8 RCF in two ways. First, with the price tag. The beginning price tag of the 200t starts at around $41,000. Like most luxury vehicles, there are always options that jack up the price, like this F-Sport package, around $4,500 worth of stuff. It includes bigger tires and fancier wheels, an improved suspension system, and you get all kinds of external, internal, fancy cosmetic trim with that package. Okay, the price is high, but you gotta have it if you want to look cool, so $4,500 it is. Then we were billed another $2,400 for a navigation system, which also includes a 17-speaker, 835-watt stereo system. You gotta have that too. $1,100 for this moonroof. Oh, at the moment, it seems more like a sunroof that's making me alive. How about the $1,160 for these LED headlights? Worth it? I don't know. Let's take them out right now and see how they operate. I'd say it's dark enough. So let's check out the lights and see how they perform. Alright, we've got the low beams on a wall 100 feet away. Very bright lights on these LEDs, but they cut off rather low. Go with high beam. Pretty powerful. And here we have the brights on a building 300 feet away through a chain link fence. Definitely bright. Getting our money's worth on these LEDs on brights, but we go to the low beam and cutoff is rather low. On the street with the brights on, you can see how everything's lit up real well, out to a quarter mile with the brights on. But again, going to the low beam, cutoff is rather brief. If this was my vehicle and I just bought it, I'd get a screwdriver and wrench out and see if I could elevate the headlights a little bit, assuming they're adjustable. I haven't researched that yet. Otherwise, no complaints. But as we mentioned earlier, if you like these lights, the LEDs will cost you $1,160 extra. As you can see by my shaky hand, there were lots of other small nits and bits bringing the total tab to $52,845. Which is certainly a lot cheaper than the 80,000 bucks we had on the Lexus RC V8. Money to be saved here. The second difference is under the hood. A turbo 4-cylinder engine putting out 241 horsepower, 258 foot-pounds of torque. On the negative side, that's not much horsepower to pull a test weight of around 3,900 pounds. But on the positive side, the maximum torque output comes on at 1,650 RPM, which is extremely low, so you're never out of power. And on the console, you not only have a control for Eco and normal modes, but Sport and Sport Plus mode for more aggressive driving. You can tell what mode you're in by looking at the instrument panel. Sport, Sport Plus, then back to normal. Power runs through an 8-speed automatic with a manual shift override, or you can manually shift by using the paddle shifters, which are on the steering wheel. EPA fuel economy rating is 22 in the city, 32 on the freeway, with 26 overall average. So far I've been getting 22 in town, but we'll be doing lots more driving and see what we're getting in other environments. When you hit the throttle on the RC-200t, you're not going to be laying any rubber. It's not that quick. Nor do we get a vicious growl out of the exhaust system, not on a 4-cylinder. By comparison, when you hit the throttle on this RC V8 version, you get a healthier sounding exhaust system and a bit more acceleration with it, of course. Yeah, it sounds better, but you'll pay the price at the gas pump. And you're looking at a 0 to 60 time in around 7.5 seconds. Maybe a wee bit more if you're having a good day or you put it in the Sport Plus mode. Not going to pin you to the seat, but it's more than adequate for most driving. The factory claims a top speed of 143 miles per hour, but I don't think we're going to try it on this road. By the way, this car is very quiet at highway speeds. Unfortunately, the microphone's picking up a bunch of noise from the air conditioning, which I have on full blast because it's hot outside. And this is a very rough road, so we're getting a lot of rumbling noises from the tires. But otherwise, yes, it would be a very quiet ride. And the suspension is very comfortable. This would certainly qualify as a true GT car, also known as Grand Touring. In spite of the soft suspension, the RC still takes corners like a champ. It's not as hardcore as certain Porsches and BMWs, but can run with most of them anyway. The steering's quick enough, even though it doesn't have much feel. And all those clunky noises you hear, no, it's not the car, it's a bunch of stuff I've got in the trunk bouncing around. This 4-cylinder engine moves out pretty good once it spools up, especially in the tight corners with the high torque output. Gonna need some good brakes to be going down these hills. let's do it. This is one environment where the lightweight 4-cylinder turbo shines. Just going on a backcountry road and cruising, you don't need a big V8 for that, or even the bigger V6. So far I've been getting 21 to 22 mpg in hard city driving. Resetting the computer and doing all this 0 to 60 and tight curves and up and down mountains and passing, all this performance driving has dropped it down to 15.8. But we're going to reset this and do some real world driving and see if we can redeem ourselves. Like so. As much as I like this car, it does have 3 drawbacks, which I'll show you, so let's take time out and look at that right now. First of all, we do get a set of rear seating, but they're useless for anything except small pets and groceries. Don't try to fit real people back there unless you hate them. Number 2, the rocker panels under the door are way too wide, and you have this exposed bodywork that collects dirt, mud, sand, gets on the bodywork, gets on your pants. So you'll want to keep a bottle of Windex and some rags handy. And number 3, Lexus did away with the control stick, went to a finger touchpad system. It works easy enough when you're sitting still, but when you're trying to drive the car, which is bouncing around on the road, doesn't work very well. There have been lots and lots of complaints about this system, and I suspect Lexus is going back to the stick when they redo everything next year. I can only hope. Otherwise, we have no complaints. The climate control system is very easy to use, simple buttons. We get real knobs for the volume and the tuning on the radio system. Heated and ventilated seats are just a push button away. Lots of useful information on the gauge display. By the way, in mixed city and expressway commuting, we bumped our MPG up to 25. We'll see if we can do better with some total freeway trips down the road. We're going to take a 125-mile highway trip to see what type of fuel economy we can stretch out of this engine. So stay tuned. Okay, 26.3 mpg in all fairness. There's a lot of high wind out here, and I was doing a lot of passing. So we'll rack on some more miles and reset the computer and see what happens. So let's give it another go. And we might have to slow down just a wee bit so Mr. Policeman doesn't draw any attention to us. 28.5, I think that's a lot better. It helps if you use the cruise control. Like its V8 cousin, this turbo engine requires super premium unleaded, you know, the expensive stuff. By comparison, the V6 engine can manage on regular. Just a note for you. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't be looking down there, it can be dangerous. Gotta keep your eyes on the road like me. This is our third and last fuel economy run. We're going to do 130 miles on the local interstate. So stay tuned. We're coming back into town. We're going to pull over and see what our fuel economy was. Here we go, 130 miles, 32.5 mpg. I must point out that this trip was going slightly downhill by 2,000 feet in elevation, while the other two we did in the daytime, we were climbing 2,000 feet in elevation. So if you take all the numbers, divide them up, you get an honest figure of 29 miles per gallon overall. And those figures are using super premium fuel, not standard unleaded. So here's my take on the Lexus RC series. If you want economy, get the 200t with the 4-cylinder turbo. If you want maximum performance, get the RCF with the V8. If you want an in-between, get the RC-350 V6, which unfortunately we cannot get. The price sticker isn't cheap, regardless of which one you get, but the quality is extremely high, and the styling is definitely there, especially if you get this bright orange paint. Next, we'll have a link for the Lexus RCF V8 test we did, 700 miles worth. Just click on the link coming up. That wraps up our Lexus hybrid test. If you'd like to see the video we did on the Lexus RCF V8, just click on the link here.